Rachel Schoenfelder.
Here.
Jennifer Tiff.
Here.
Superintendent Joshua. Here. And myself, Ryan Reister. Absent is Kayla Anderson and Jeremy Koenig. Ms. Schoenfelder.
Yep.
Is that you?
Nope.
Please read the vision statement, please.
Red Wing Public Schools cultivates an inclusive learning community where each student develops the knowledge, skills, and character needed to thrive as an engaged citizen, innovative thinker, and compassionate leader in an interconnected world.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Do I have a motion for the meeting to approve the meeting agenda?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Ms. Schoenfelder, seconded by Ms. Tiff. This will be a roll call vote. Jennifer?
Aye.
Rachel?
Aye.
Therese?
Yes.
Jim?
Aye.
And also aye.
You just do a regular vote, if you don't want to play. We haven't made more. No, but it's just it's easier to just do a roll call.
Okay. And I also vote aye. Motion passes. Or motion approved. First up, student showcase.
So, Mr. Bagel?
Yeah. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, I'm going to talk as little as possible, and then I'll turn it over. So a couple of years ago, 2 years ago? 2 years ago, my specialist came to me and said, hey, we've got an idea. So our students on IEPs have always had access to adaptive PE if it fits their needs. But they said, we would like to be able to offer some additional art and music programming specifically for our students in our Setting 3 ASD program, which we call the STAR Room. So over the last couple of years, my specialists have developed this program in music and art and continue to with PE as well. That really fits kind of the unique needs of the kiddos in that room. And, you know, we did this because this is what we thought was best for kids and met the needs. And then a couple months ago, every month I get a mess by the Minnesota Elementary School Principals Association. They send out a monthly e-newsletter, and there was every month there's a piece in there about an innovative idea. And lo and behold, there was this innovative idea out of some school in the cities about doing exactly what we've been doing for a couple of years. So I sent it to them and said, hey, look at this, we're innovative, cool. So I'm going to go ahead first and turn it over to our specialists so they can just talk a little bit about the programming before we then move on to our teacher in that room as well as a couple of parents here next week.
My name is Peter Johnson. I teach Phi-Ed as well as developmentally adapted physical education at Sunnyside. I've been in the district for 17 years, my third year over at Sunnyside. So yeah, as Mr. Bagel kind of said, development adaptive physical education is an IEP sort of thing. So I've kind of already had some of these kids and already had a group. But what's been cool, especially with the last 2 years with this group, is 2 years ago when they started, I saw them one-on-one and still with a couple of them trying to leave the gym, you know, trying to keep them in the gym, just trying to keep them somewhat focused. So it's been really fun to kind of see them go from that to working with Mitch Hodgson. So he brings a whole class with now, so we have success with the whole class, to now a lot of them also come to regular Phi-Ed as an inclusive setting and are having some success in there as well. So, you know, briefly, like that's kind of been the success in the STAR Room there. As we started last year, kind of a couple small groups, but for sure there was multiple of them that were one-on-one, just me and them, and still struggling to kind of stay in the gym, to stay on task at all, to now, as the year went on last year, we kind of went to, all of a sudden by the second quarter, Ms. Hodgson's group was coming as a whole group with all of her aides and everything. We were doing things, working together. And then as the year went on, they started to come to regular Phi-Ed, and so they kind of get both. So for me, I kind of pre-teach and reteach a lot what we're doing in regular Phi-Ed. So they're working on weighting skills, they're working on those basic locomotor and object control skills. in a smaller group, so then when they get to the bigger class, they kind of have a little bit more understanding what's going on, hopefully be a little bit more successful in there, and it's really been fun to watch. Because again, today, we've had kids come in today, they knew what was going on, they can participate, and the regular kids really enjoy loving them too. I love watching those kids really help them out as well. So it's been fun for me in that setting, to kind of see that as well. So that's kind of what happens in Adaptive Fire.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Amy Cavagnetto. I have been the music teacher at the elementary schools for a long time. It's been wonderful. And so this was a really fun new adventure last year, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And this is the way I sort of run the music. It is a lot like what Mr. Johnson is doing in Fayette. I try to take what we're doing in the regular ed music class and sort of break that down, a little more focused, a little more one-on-one with Ms. Hodgkin's kids. And it's been so nice that this year they're coming to Gen Ed music as well, which is really cool because they have grown so much. I see the students usually once a week for the STAR music, sometimes twice a week, and 25 minutes at a time. We have lots of fun through music. We work on coordination and large motor skills through dancing and through movements. We work on small motor skills through finger plays. We sing, and we play many small rhythm percussion instruments. I try to get as many of those in their hands as possible, and we just have a fantastic time. It's a favorite part of my day. So anyway, on to art. Are you gonna come with me, or are you gonna sit there?
Hello, I am Miss Rachel Fritz. I am the art teacher at Sunnyside. I have worked there for about 4 years. I have really enjoyed this opportunity to work with Haley Hodgson's kids and just giving them the chance to be creative in a setting where there are minimal limitations for them. I've brought in a lot of new adaptive tools for all the different abilities, so I can be sure to modify and differentiate accordingly for each and every student. I focus a lot on the elements of art, so teaching them the colors and shapes, and we talk a lot about texture, and I let them experiment with various materials and mediums. So it's really been a great opportunity for them. And like I've said in the past too, or like Ms. Cavagnetto and Mr. Johnson said, just watching them go from a self-contained classroom in amongst their peers and having them join in and see how the class functions as a whole, with especially as large of classrooms as our students have right now. They go from, their small setting to a class of 25 students, and then, they really get an opportunity to be themselves and get to interact with their peers. So I enjoy it so much. We have a good time.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Haley Hodgson. So I actually teach all of these amazing little kids. So I've been doing this for 5 years, and when these kids come in from Cobble, the goal for them is to get into the Gen Ed classroom as much as possible. They came in from Cobble with 0 minutes on their IEP in the Gen Ed room with their peers. So we did come up with this program where they get to go into these specialist classrooms, and they get to explore the classroom before, these 25 other kids come in. They get to learn the routines, they get to practice with these tools that they might not be able to in the Gen Ed classroom with all their peers. I have seen so much growth in these kids. with art, I mean, they have these tools, these adaptive tools. These crayons are little raindrops, and they love coloring with them. Before, they would not pick up a pencil. In gym, some of the kids don't even know what skipping was, and now they're skipping phenomenally. With music, they can express themselves in whatever ways that they can imagine. They did not like to dance last year. Now they're following all of these dance routines. So the benefits exponentially outweigh everything that I could have imagined these kids would be able to do. So yeah, it's been an awesome experience. So thank you.
Yes, Jim.
All right, is there more to speak?
There is.
Two parents.
Okay, I'll ask after this. Great question.
Okay, I'll go. Okay.
Are you the one supposed to speak? She likes her teacher better than you.
I know. You want to sit with me? That's okay. This is Willow. All right, Willow.
Hi, Simeon.
Oh my goodness, I got both of them. Okay. All right. Okay, come here. Okay. All right, well, we're here to talk about you. All righty. Well, hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Haley Foster, and I am the mother to Willow and Lila Foster. They are identical twins on the autism spectrum. Willow and Lila are in kindergarten at Sunnyside. As a special needs parent, I was apprehensive of the thought of both of them going to public school for the first time, and if it would be a good fit for our girls. But Sunnyside was confident this was where our girls would flourish, and they were right. We have seen a drastic change in their behaviors and have seen such progress in their academics. Our girls have such a love for learning and their teachers, and Sunnyside is doing a wonderful job at helping our girls succeed. Anything else? Do you love your teachers? Yeah. You're gonna go back to them, aren't you?
Oh,
All righty, thank you.
Willow and Lila, what's your favorite, art, Syed, or music?
Willow, come here. What's your favorite? Do you like art? You are Willow Foster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enough of the question.
Hey, good answers.
Come here, Willow.
Willow.
Willow, come here. You wanna go back to your pictures?
Hi, I am Callie Egan. My daughter Emma is currently a first grader at Sunnyside. She is also on the autism spectrum. Coming into kindergarten last year, Emma was primarily nonverbal. I've often said that kindergarten was a total game changer. Sunnyside was a total game changer for us. She has blossomed into this social butterfly now. Her language has exploded. She is chattering so much. She is reading now. She is writing now. Her math skills are incredibly developed. At her IEP meeting this past May, I actually told Mrs. Hodgson, this is definitely not the same kid that I sent you back in September. Like, she's just grown so much, and she's continued to grow over the beginning of this school year. She's been able to be a part of these programs, the art and music and DAPE. She's always had a very strong love for music and the arts, and we've really watched that creativity be able to thrive at Sunnyside. She was even a featured artist at the Student Art Gallery at the Red Wing Depot in March, so that was very awesome, and we were very proud. She comes home with projects all the time. She's so excited to talk to me about it. She is always excited to leave for school in the morning, which is a great sign as a parent that she really loves the environment that she's going to and the people that she's around. These programs, they don't just give kids like Emma the opportunities that they need to thrive in public school. They're teaching her skills that she can apply outside of the school setting. And from a mom standpoint, that's just huge. We're very thankful for the support system that we have at Sunnyside, and they know her by name, they welcome her, they encourage her to be the unique individual that she is, and that's just really great from a parent's perspective.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim, you were gonna ask a question.
We talked about Emma, Willow, and Layla. Lila, that was close. How many other children are there in this setting and involved here?
So there is currently 8, about to be 9 after, Thanksgiving break, so.
Great. Well, those are some accolades that you get, we don't hear about. But the mothers and I'll sit here. So there's, those are the positive, the great things going on in one of our buildings that, we are very proud of the fact of what you do, and we thank you for showcasing this, because this is where we can start getting the word out there that kids are thriving on this, that have some need of some help, and I thank all of you for, your dedication and your commitment to help them to go. I mean, I can't believe Mr. Johnson's been here 17 years too. I don't know if that's accurate. We have to do it honestly, but I want to thank you for us on behalf of myself. I'm sure the board is the same way. This is what we want to hear as a community. This is what we want to hear as a board. What we want to hear as parents and all that. So thank you.
All right. We got a couple certificates here for the,
You get something.
let me get this right. Willow, you were in the purple?
Yes.
Wow. Lila,
Yes.
there you go.
What do you say?
Thank you. And Emma must not be here tonight.
Emma is snuggled on the couch with Daddy and Big Sister.
Thank you.
She was not leaving that spot.
Okay. All right.
We want to get a picture of that, of you framing that in your bedroom.
Oh, yeah. They love taking pictures. Willow, that's your name.
Is that you?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. Well, thank you, everyone, for coming.
Thank
So
you.
it's actually a
Yep. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for helping with my computer here.
Yes.
You got me going here today.
Oh, yes, we can fix any computer problem.
Thank you for doing that.
All right,
We'll be back
ready?
later.
Say bye,
I'll go out that
everyone.
way. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice to meet you. Bye, girls. Good seeing ya. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Next up, public comment. I think we just have one. Amber. Yeah. Before you start here, let me get, all right. Public comment. This is an opportunity for residents, business, and property owners, parents, guardians, students, and employees of the Revenue School District to address the board. We ask that you adhere to the guidelines set in place by District Policy 206 regarding public comment. This is a listening opportunity for the board and not a time to debate an issue. You are prohibited from making comments about specific students, staff, or administrators. The board respects and values input from the public, but when it relates to a specific student, staff, or administrator, such input must be heard by the appropriate personnel, such as the building principal or superintendent, and not during an open meeting of the school board. We require that you limit your remarks to 3 minutes. You are allowed not to yield your time to another person. It is expected that members of the public will address their remarks with civility and respect. You will address your board from the public comment table and be recognized by the board chair. Identify yourself and the group you represent, if any. And please state your reason for addressing the board. Just give me 1 second here, I'll just get the. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Amber Plank. An adult in a position of power who is currently bullying transgender youth over their private parts and publicly advocating to remove them from school sports is now a part of a group trying to run a crisis program for vulnerable kids. As someone who spends my free time doing humanitarian work in this town, I cannot count the number of families who have quietly reached out to me with disturbing bullying incidents publicly or involving the Rugland Public School District. Now we're proposing to hand students the power to decide which of their peers might be in crisis in a district with documented history of bullying and lawsuits. That is not prevention. That is an environment ripe for targeting, retaliation, and misuse. It is asking untrained children to shoulder the responsibility of mental health triage while adults in charge, and some of which who have directly contributed to the harm, want to take a victory lap for creating a hope squad. In this district with its documented incidents, it should not be replacing trained, paid medical health professionals with untrained children whose brains are still developing and who are not equipped to make life or death assessments. At least half of the people proposing this program have personally ignored, dismissed, or contributed to bullying in this community. And now they want to position themselves as the solution. Forgive me if I sound disgusted, but I am. Because kids' lives are not PR tools and crisis prevention is not brand building exercise for adults who refuse to look in the mirror. So the Hope Squad is being backed by 4 people. One of them I respect deeply. I genuinely believe that they do not understand the intentions or the track record of the others. And another one of them I do not know well enough to speak on, although I've heard some things. But the other 2, I know exactly what they are. When my daughter was experiencing an alarming amount of racialized harassment in this district, I reached out on Facebook, asking one if they would help us if they were elected, and they blocked me. That is how they responded to my Black child in crisis after she was being bullied. And then there's the once celebrated physician in this town still sitting on a board, fired after a theft incident at Target, targeting trans teens. That same person responded to Black Lives Matter by saying that all lives matter. They also signed a petition demanding the removal of all transgender students from school sports. Someone who put their profession, it's public knowledge that a petition was signed.
I understand that, but it's,
I'm not using any names, I can't speak about the truth.
we all know who it was, and it's a long time ago. So if you want,
It's still relevant.
is the rest, does this on go? You have 45 seconds left. Does this?
No, I'm literally just speaking facts. If
I
it's public
understand.
knowledge, why can't I speak about it?
Because
I'm not using any names.
it specifically states in there that you are not allowed to talk about.
Okay, so we have one that's openly targeting marginalized students for including transgender youth, and now want to lead an anti-bullying, anti-crisis initiative for the very kids that they publicly harm. Do they not realize that they are part of the reason kids in this community are hurting? How long are we expected to drink poison or drink water from a poisoned well? I think it's really rude that you cut me off when I'm trying to do a speech and I'm not saying any names and I'm literally speaking about public facts. They publicly signed it, right? So why can't I speak on it? And then you interrupted my time. Now I gotta go to the city council meeting and speak there because nobody else does.
I stopped the time, by the way.
I don't care right now.
All right.
You guys just have an ability to not listen to anybody that really truly cares. I'm putting in the work. What do you guys do?
Well, next item, recognitions of upcoming events.
So some upcoming events here in particular, so on December 9th, we have an AI event that's coming on. Basically, it's information that goes along with the work that we're doing with our artificial intelligence and computer science things that we're coming up. Starts at 5:30. We encourage people to sign up for that if they're interested. We're hoping to have a nice crowd here that night. There is a home basketball game that night too, so we can kind of dovetail some of those things together. So we'll have a little bit more information on that on December 7th or 8th, whatever it is, when we have our next workshop. So we'll have a little bit more info there.
Is there a meal?
Yes, there is a meal with that. Yep.
So that's on what, December 7th?
That's on December 9th. Yep.
A lot more information.
Yep, so we'll have some more information on that. It's been, I believe everything's been put out there as far as the initial advertising. So that's something we just want to call attention to. Otherwise, it's just the kind of the sprint here now that we've been in the fall. Now we've hit Thanksgiving break and we're going to be bumping up against winter break before we know it hit us. All of our fall or winter activities are under full swing. So between basketball and hockey and boys and girls and whatever, there's just a ton of activities that are going on. I don't have a listing right now of all the concerts that are there, but if you are interested in any kind of musical concert between what happens at the elementary, the middle schools, et cetera, all of those are coming up hard and fast. So there's a lot of work that's been going on. The kids have been putting in a ton of time and effort in that. So if anybody has the opportunity to participate and watch those, I strongly encourage you to do so. It's absolutely well worth every minute of your time.
Anyone else have any upcoming events, recognitions?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving?
Hope everyone can spend time with family and friends.
Yeah. I think it's time for administrative reports.
Okay, so as you have the administrative reports kind of there, I'll point out a few things there. At Cobble, so there's voluntary pre-kindergarten, VPK is the name of the program. We have 10 seats that are allocated that have been approved from the state. We would like to be able to increase that number. We have applied for additional seats. We're at least a little bit hopeful that we're going to be able to get 5 more seats. So be able to do that, that would be helpful. At Cobble, they had a little over 80% participation rate when they had parent-teacher conferences, so that was nice to see. Grandparents' Day, one of those was just going on today, so Grandparents' Day at Sunnyside is to be kind of a big deal. Burnside, so they've got, the Kindness Club is doing a snack drive for Open Harbor. The 3rd graders, they all went to the planetarium at Mayo down in Rochester, Mayo High School down in Rochester. They were looking at constellations, and with all the activity that's been going on with the Aurora Borealis, this was a great timing for a bunch of that to happen. Again, concerts, there's a lot of things that are going on. We've had the Veterans Day program since we last met, so that's also a very important piece. Then from Towerview, Jerry Messersmith performed for students on October 30th. All students attended the original Shakespeare Theater performance at the Sheldon on Halloween Day. 3 students have completed graduation so far this year already, so we've already got 3 kids that have graduated that without Towerview might not have had the opportunity to achieve that goal. They had a little over 60% attended parent-teacher conferences. For activities, the big things that we've had in the fall here, there's a lot of kids that achieve things, but there's some notable ones there with the swim and dive meet. Eliana Corey, Kylie Moffitt, Sienna Yaki, Emma Wardle, Charlie Jacobson, and Vivian Smith. And then all of our winter sports activities, like I said, those have all gotten underway. And there's 12 student athletes that are nominated by head coaches that attend the State High School League Leadership Conference. That is also coming up very shortly. That's next Monday. We were supposed to meet with Education Commissioner Willie Jett. Unfortunately, that got rescheduled, so that we'll see if that is able to be something that we can do a little bit later on. Otherwise, we're working quite a bit with the Flight of Jazz 2030. And yeah, there's just there's a lot of stuff that ends up going on. Human resources, this is a big deal right now because it's the health insurance enrollment season. So there's a lot of questions for people. Everybody loves to talk insurance, as we all know. So expensive, it's a challenge for people as they're making decisions. So Kelsey in particular has been putting a lot of extra time in there. So those are the primary things. And then notably from Student Nutrition Services, Director Jess Pena has resigned, so we're starting the process for replacing her. Her last day will be, I believe, December 12th. So that's coming out here as well. And then in the world of teaching and learning, a lot of the tests get ordered now for what takes place with the assessments in the spring. So notably here, we have 187 AP exams registered for already. So there's a lot of kids that are putting the work in to be able to be prepared for those AP tests. So again, lots of stuff going on. Yeah, 3 graduates have completed graduation requirements. They're they're at Tower. Yep. Are they, I should know, are they still in school or have they met the qualifications or have they left school? Now we can fill those spots with some.
So once they get done, they're done.
So you have 3 more possible
So, yeah,
openings. if you
so we
need
should
to.
have some movement there. The other day when I checked, I believe there were 67 students that were currently enrolled out at Tower View. So,
Thank you.
This kind of goes back into more of the recognitions, but I think I read, maybe you, did the football team receive academic all-state for GPA above 3.0?
that is possible. I did not
I
notice
thought I
that
saw
in-
something, if it wasn't, I don't think it's in there, but anyways, congratulations, then, that's, you know,
Yeah, if that is indeed the case, I guess I honestly had not heard that.
well, I saw it on social media.
For as much as.
Well, it was from the Red, it was an official Red Wings,
Okay.
Red Wings school site, so it was, but anyways, yeah, that's, anyways, well, thank you for all the updates. Any further questions or on administrative reports? All right. Anything with committee updates?
I think the biggest thing is we're busy with negotiations with a couple of groups right now, and we're actively working with the teachers and the cooks, and we have a couple other groups that have to be taken care of as well, so, it's, again, a lot of work that's being done there. We appreciate the conversations that we've had thus far, so.
Next up, consent agenda. I don't know if there's anything we have to cover, just approve that. Should be able to just approve that. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Motion by Ms. Schoenfelder, seconded by Ms. Tift. This be a roll call vote. Jennifer?
Aye.
Jim? Aye. Therese?
Aye.
Rachel?
Aye.
And I'll also vote aye. Resolution passes. Donations and grants.
So there are a number of donations that we have this time. Dolores Winarski, $1,000 to the Red Wing High School Music Program. Ruby's Pantry, $400 to the Aim to Achieve program. American Legion Post has 2 of them. One is $250 to the Twin Bluff Food Pantry in October, and then an additional $250 in November. Michael Holmes Black Father Nation, $200 to BSU. And the Jones Family Foundation, $2,500 to the Twin Bluff Middle School Food Pantry. So thank you for each of those donations. They are very much appreciated, especially this time of year, as there's a lot of need in our communities.
Make a motion, approve the resolution with big thanks to the group that donated.
I will second.
All right. Motion by Mr. Bryant, seconded by Therese Bjornstad. Any discussion on that? Rachel?
Aye.
Therese?
Aye.
Jim? Aye. Jennifer?
Aye.
And I will also vote aye. Resolution passes. All right, now we have the superintendent report. Let's start off with finance update.
So on here, we had a finance meeting the other day. We talked about a number of specific pieces. We had hoped that the audit was going to be available for this meeting. Unfortunately, there was one report that they were waiting for from another entity, not us, that prevented us from being able to present that this month. That will be coming up here now in December. So right now, everything, again, is pretty close there, so we'll have that coming up. We're looking also at the updated budget, or the final budget, I guess we'd call that, for FY '26. Again, I'd hope that we could be able to have that done in December, but it's gonna be January before that occurs. With that, what we do is, the biggest driver of everything that we do financially is our student numbers. So earlier this year, we were down 8 students compared to where we had ended up, versus 80 that I had budgeted for. So last year, when we did our preliminary budget, we had 2,172 students plugged into the system. So between October, when I last gave you numbers, and now, we've had 31 students that have left the district. in asking where have they gone, the vast majority are families that have left Red Wing. Okay, for family decisions, and they're not still here. They have picked up, a lot of them have ended up moving. We've had some movement back and forth between here and Creekstone. We've had some kids that have come to us from Creekstone, and we've had some kids that have also gone that way. So the numbers there have shifted a little bit. So right now, when I did the preliminary budget last year, where you looked at 2,172 kids, this year now, and visiting with Chris the other day, we're gonna use 2,200 for our budget. So we're gonna increase that by 28 kids from what we had earlier. That's conservative, because right now, if we took the number of kids that we have, it's about 2218. So we're always a little bit on the conservative side, because you can have some movement midstream. One thing that does typically happen with Red Wing is we end up picking some kids up over the course of the year. So again, we're using a conservative number as we go through that, just because it's a lot easier to have good news instead of some news that went the other way. So those are some primary things that we were looking at. Another thing that we had talked about, this was, it's called maintenance of effort. And with maintenance of effort, for your special education programs, you need to have a correlation between the amount that you spent last year and the spending that you have coming up. If you have might have been a high cost student who left your district, then that's a rationale that is satisfactory for achieving maintenance of effort. So as a whole, GCED needs to maintain maintenance of effort. There are individual schools within GCED that do not make maintenance of effort, but because we make it collectively, we're still in good shape. So this year, right now, Red Wing is not currently meeting maintenance of effort. Okay, we've had some changes and some shifts there. There's 2 other schools within GCED that also did not meet maintenance of effort, but as a combined group, we do. So we're okay there. There were some final numbers that are going to impact that a little bit here, that it's going to be closer, I think, or we're going to be in better shape, I think, than initially was reported, just because there's some final numbers that are still coming up. But overall, that we felt was really in decent shape, but it's something we're going to have to monitor. The other day we had, for the RFQ for the buses, we had a meeting with Tom Watson, myself, and there were 5 entities represented that are interested in our bus services. So we went through that, went through the entire RFQ, provided answers for the individual companies. This is an ongoing process that we're gonna go through. And again, the goal is that by the end of January, we'll be able to select a contract for our bus services for next year. So I'm at least optimistic that we got that many that were interested in coming by. So that was a plus. So again, there's a lot of hoops that we have to jump through between now and then and whatnot, but it was nice to see the interest that was there. So that was very encouraging. So,
Yes.
The Tower View lease, we're still working on that a little bit. I got an initial draft of that from our legal counsel. I'll be meeting with the folks out at Tower View to review that and make sure that we're on the same page as we get going there. They're also moving ahead with the remodel, so we'll have additional space out there, and that space is gonna be also just a lot nicer, more dedicated to education space particularly, and we're also gonna have a number of security upgrades out there that are gonna make a much better environment for our student body.
Windows and light.
Yep, yeah, because right now,
Right, they're kind of,
Everything's
if
kind of
you've
down in
ever
the
been
basement.
out there, yeah.
so, and then, and on a related note there, the Tower View Christmas meal, I guess is kind of what they call that, that comes up on December 10th. You should have all received an invitation, so I would encourage you. It's really a fun event, to be able to sit down with kids, and they just like to visit with you as we eat. So if you can go to that.
Interesting conversations.
It is, yep, and the kids are very, very appreciative of the work that is done by the staff out at Talview.
Yeah.
It truly is a second or sometimes a third chance for some of our students. And as evidenced by some that are graduating now, that again, might not have had that opportunity. So,
Just out of curiosity, lease like, something like this is a 5-year, 10-year, open-ended, how does that?
so typically you'll end up with an initial term there, and I don't remember exactly what it is. It's a 3 or 5 year term, and then there's the opportunity to extend it. So.
Okay. All right. Sure, that kind of tied in with some of your superintendent
Yep,
comments.
so pretty much we should be able to go to the business items.
All right, business items, second reading of policy 707 revision.
So if you'll recall, this is the one that for our students who need care and treatment and need to be transported. So what this ends up doing is we follow we coordinate this with GCD, but every school district has a 60-mile radius for how far we can transport those kids. So that way, if a student is going to, if a parent decides they want to have their child 100 miles away, our restriction on their transportation for those children is 60 miles. So we've got resources within that 60-mile bubble, as do our other schools, so that's where we follow there, so. I would recommend a motion to approve the second reading.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Second. Motion by Ms. Schoenfelder, second by Ms. Tift. Do a roll call on this. Rachel?
Aye.
Therese?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Aye.
And I will also vote aye. Motion passes. Next up will be the final reading of policy 24.1.
Yep, so 524.1, this is all associated with the work that we're currently doing with Flight Path 2030. So we looked through this, so it'd be my recommendation that we approve this policy this evening. So
Second.
You can pick whichever one second.
Doesn't matter.
Motion by Mr. Bryan, seconded by Therese. Roll call vote here. Therese?
Aye.
Rachel?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
And I will also vote aye. Resolution passes. All right. Next up is the insurance MOU.
So I gave you a copy of this, I believe each of you should have one. So with this, we are actively in negotiations, as I mentioned, with a couple of groups. And I also mentioned earlier that we're in open enrollment season for health insurance. As part of the negotiations, the teacher group asked if it would be possible to lock down what the insurance contribution for the teacher group would be in year one. This is year one only, and this also, everything fits together in the overall package when everything is all said and done. So on this, we'll certainly end up with more parts that feed into this, but at this point, the recommendation of the negotiations group and with the Teachers Association is that we kind of bake those numbers in. So we would end up, for the single policy, it would be $875 a month for the teachers, and for the single plan, for the family, it would be $22.22. So it would be my recommendation that we approve this MOU for this year with the full understanding that this is part of this year's current contract negotiations, and it all has to feed into an overall plan. So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bryant, seconded by Ms. Schoenfelder. Any discussion on this before we vote? I guess I have one question. Where is this, what is the movement in it? Or I guess, have we been following on the federal level? This was part of the shutdown, right? Was the everything?
No, this is just.
This is completely different?
This is just the grand old increase in health insurance that we see nationwide. So this is our increase in our policies, are impacting us for all of our employees. So typically, insurance contributions are part of the negotiation process.
Yep. And so was there something, and it might have been totally different if it was
No, this is
free health, it wasn't
No.
anything. All right. All right, roll call vote on this. Jennifer,
Aye.
Rachel.
Aye.
Therese,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
and I will also vote aye. Resolution passes to approve the insurance MOU. All right, we're down to upcoming meetings and future topics. I've got the next workshop, December 5th, Monday the 7th.
7th or 8th.
That'd be the 8th, I think December 1st is a Monday.
Yeah.
First, should be the 8th, December 8th.
8th.
So, and we've got a condensed calendar here now in December because we have a workshop on the 8th, and then we have our regular board meeting on the 15th. That regular board meeting also coincides with our truth and taxation meeting. We'll be finalizing the levy, those different kinds of things. So we've got a little bit of a condensed calendar in December.
Do we know when our organizational meeting is then?
So that cannot happen until after January, and I believe it's January 5th. Is the tentative date that we're looking at.
Okay.
All right.
I should probably ask about it, I'll ask in public, it doesn't matter. When I was working full-time, I belonged to a union. We always start negotiations before our contract expired. And I do not recall if it's the union or the employer that initially should start the negotiations or not, but ever since I've been here, all negotiations seem to start after the contracts expire.
So, you're right, and that's probably not unusual in a lot of cases. I mean, it's nice if you can get it done ahead of time, but it's really not all that common. A big part of the reason is half the time the legislature doesn't have any of their stuff taken care of before the end of June. So we don't know how much, we don't know what our resources are as a district, et cetera, so the groups tend to wait a little bit. They always, all of our groups have put in the intent to negotiate in a timely manner last spring. It's just that something that ends up, like I say, this is not at all uncommon.
We wouldn't have had to do the MOU if we put it together, both groups met sooner than when we did.
That is correct, you know, there was some, you know, again, on the groups, there's some that have, you know, we finished one up back in July or August.
Yeah.
We've got some that we're still working on, some of those wanted to get started earlier, and just because the logistics weren't really easy.
All right.
Just a question.
Any further discussion?
You need a motion to adjourn?
I can count on you.
Are you?
And you need a second, though.
Second.
All right. Motion to adjourn by Mr. Bryan, seconded by Ms. Schoenfelder. All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Somehow, I have lost my favorite that I